A video released after the terrorist's death at the weekend shows Sinwar was a coward who ensured he and his family were safely hidden underground while Palestinian civilians bore the full brunt of the war he started on October 7.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury for long-suffering Palestinians, the footage shows Sinwar's wife going into hiding along, as you can see there, with her designer Hermes Birkin bag that retails for just under 50,000 Aussie dollars. As the saying goes, happy wife, happy terrorist life.
This is a footage of Sinwar just hours before the October 7th massacre, where Sinwar was hiding his family and equipment, including beds, pillows, food, and water, and a television.
Unbelievable.
For pro-Palestinian protesters to be portraying this gentleman, this terrorist, as some sort of warrior is just unbelievable. I mean, he was hiding like a sewer rat underneath the streets of Gaza while his own people were human shields, looked after his own children while everybody else's children were able to die. And he wasn't fighting, he was hiding, scurrying through the rubble that he was responsible for in Rafah until finally the IDF got him. And the saddest thing about this guy is that he had this religious vision that in order for it to come true, it required the absolute destruction of Gaza. Don't forget, he launched the October 7 attack with the express idea that Israel would respond and that the response would be so violent the world would turn against Israel. So his entire religious vision, and that's what it is, relied upon the destruction of Gaza, which he's purported to be defending. So for people in Australia to celebrate and lionise him as some kind of hero is not only an absolute fabrication and lie, it's delusional.
It is totally delusional. And let's not forget as well that Palestinians have been used as human shields by Hamas in Gaza, we know particularly in the hospitals. Meanwhile, Sinwar and his family have clearly been living this luxurious life with televisions, Hermes handbags and the lot in the tunnels or somewhere in Gaza while they've been throwing everybody to the curb. People have been dying around them and they don't care. Secondly, that vision there was taken one day before the October 7 massacre last year. So while these plans were in place, this lot were strolling about into the tunnels of Gaza, acting like nothing was happening, on their way to a viewing party for the worst loss of life since the Holocaust. 1,200 people killed, and that's the way they're acting. Meanwhile, we've got people in the middle of Sydney's CBD saying, oh no, this guy was a martyr, he's a real hero. Well, if you think he's a hero, why don't you go to Gaza and support the cause? Because the door is open, see you later. That is not what we want here in Australia. It is disgusting.
And as you said, he went into that tunnel the day before the attack on Israel, October 6.
Yes.
So he knew very well what was about to happen and the response that would be unleashed. And as we said, he made sure his own wife, his own children, himself were all safe while everybody else in Gaza was exposed to the retribution that would rightly come from Israel. So this is not resistance.
No.
This is not defending Gaza. This is not standing up for the people of Palestine. This is a religious fanatic who was willing to sacrifice his own neighbours in order to fulfil his his vision for the end times.
Well, he's a complete parasite. He's a total parasite. And look, let's not forget here that it's very lucky, James, that Israel ignored the so-called allies of the West as they hunted for this man. Australia, the United States, other world leaders, because if it was up to Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese, there would be a ceasefire already. And now let's be very clear, everybody wants to see peace. Nobody wants to see fighting. But a ceasefire would have meant that they wouldn't have gone into Rafah, they wouldn't have found this man and he wouldn't be dead today. So luckily they didn't listen to world leaders. And luckily Israel actually went into Rafah. You remember this famous quote by Kamala Harris, the woman who wants to be the leader of the free world. She said, no, don't do it because I've studied the maps. I mean, what a ridiculous comment to make. Australia, the United States have not stood by Israel in its darkest hour, and Israel has proven that this is what you do through perseverance and might, and you fight for your country.
Some of the commentary after the assassination of Sinwar has been interesting. There was an article in The Australian at the weekend. The headline read, Israel has a stark choice, declare victory or keep fighting, which I thought was a ridiculous thing to say. You don't win by declaring victory.
No.
You win when the hostages are freed and Hamas is completely unable to ever govern or pose a threat to Israel ever again. So some of the suggestions that now Sinwar is dead, Israel should just declare victory. Well, there's still almost 100 hostages being held beneath the streets of Gaza. In a football game, you don't declare victory. You fight till the very end and you win. And Israel must continue to do that.